We spent a great deal of time here because basically the story is the foundation for the cinematic process. Once the story was complete, we started working through the departments that Matt mentioned earlier to get to our final frames. This is an exciting time for our department. It's pretty much the bulk of our work. So in the meantime, we were working with the sound department to develop the scores and sound effects for the StarCraft II cinematics. Once we were able to marry all that stuff together, we realized that what started out as a really ambitious project ended up being the very real StarCraft II cinematics that you have in front of you today. So let's hand it over to some of our team members to give you an in-depth look at this amazing process.
My goal is to help the directors to visualize the asset in 3D as fast as we can, so then we cut all the back and forth between concept and modeling. One of the great examples of a character that has a really good and detailed displacement work is Kerrigan. We had the concept done, and the concept convey a great amount of detail, and then we build a base mesh that has all the right proportions and enough information to help us to add the detail on it. So when we started talking about StarCraft II and I knew we'd have to have a new design for the Marine, I started working with the concept artist back then and kind of exploring some ideas. So we came up with something that the director was really happy with, and the concept artist was able to take that to a completely different level.
So 3D pre-production, or the previs process, is the basics of creating the film for the first time in 3D. One of the main things to get out of a 3D pre-production is camera space and how the camera tells the story. Once the basics are there, you put into place, then we start assembling the scene. We start laying characters in and making a composition out of it. You basically pose a character, you put in the scene, and when the composition is strong, then you can move on to animating and do a general animation and staging the main actions in there. We'll start gathering reference. We'll even grab a camera and start filming ourselves in the parking lot or in our desks or wherever we can, and start planning the animation that way. Film reference is something we use a lot, and it helps us get through a lot of ideas and see what looks good on camera, what doesn't. We had the three main characters, Tychus, Raynor, and Kerrigan, all in the same space, and we needed to show an emotional battle between all three of them. We needed to show Raynor's longing for Kerrigan over all this time,